gonna
I'm,
record.
I'm gonna record it for you now. Okay.
Okay.
So let me just review. So we just talked about Hahnemuhle rice paper, and we talked about weights of paper. We also talked about printers. I can take a picture and email you a picture of my printer, but I use the Epson 3880, which at the time was like the cheapest printer they made.
Oh,
I think it was like $800 or $700, but I've been able to keep it running and keep it working for a long time. I think I've had it like 3 or 4 years.
oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's really good. Do you like to use Photoshop, or what do you use on your computer?
No, because I'm not good at technical stuff.
Right.
So
Where
yeah,
do your images come from?
they come from well, I took that's a good question. Yesterday I got them. I print them off the internet sometimes.
Yeah.
And some of them are like just ones I took like at my granddaughter's wedding and things like that.
Right. So you can, and this is something fun that you could do. You can re-photograph them with your phone. So if you have a print of a photo, you can re-photograph it with your phone. You can print from your phone to your printer. You can also scan. So if you have like a found photo, right, like an old photo or a vintage photo, you can also scan it if you have a scanner, or you can re-photograph it. Sometimes, and especially lately with the Encaustic, if I'm going to paint it with a bunch of wax, how concerned do I need to be with like the perfection of the image? As long as I can see it, and it's black and
Right.
white, and I know, as long as I have some recognizable detail, I don't need to be too crazy about the quality of the print that I might work on. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think I've heard you say that, and I thought that was it was liberating to me because I have a lot of trouble with a PBV, whatever glue you use or you like to
PVA glue?
recommend. Yeah, I
PVA.
have a lot of trouble with that, but the encaustic photo work that I've done that I want to break away from what I've been doing. I've done it with this spray adhesive by Elmer's, and it works really. I tried the roller like you do with the
Yeah, wait, you don't
gets bubbles, and I end up having to scrape it.
You don't like the PVA glue then?
I can't get it to work right.
Okay. So is it because it doesn't roll flat enough, or because the paper doesn't glue?
Because why?
Is it the paper, do you think, or the glue?
Yeah, I don't know. I try to buy a matte paper that's not real lightweight, but not too heavy because the heavy stuff won't go through our printer.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what it is. I just know that the Elmer's spray adhesive works really good, and I don't care. I heard you say that, after you put like 7 or 8 coats of wax on something, does it really matter?
It doesn't. And if you can work that spray adhesive and you don't mind the aerosol, you use what works for you. I like the PVA glue because sometimes when I'm collaging, it's just, if I'm doing pieces, I can't use the adhesive because I just feel like I can't get it on each piece. Like I want to be able to brush the glue on, like say I do like a little, like a little strip of lace, right? Or, I mean, I have boxes of like old letters and stuff, like if I have like, old photos, if I have old photos. So this like paper, this is rice paper. This is the Hahnemuhle rice paper, and it's fairly thin, but like if I want to tear, a small piece and glue it, it's just a lot easier for me to take the glue, put it on the little piece of paper, and then just glue it down.
Yeah.
Then spray, because the spray, I feel, I can't control it, like, and I can't flatten it. So then I feel like I can't get as hands-on with it as I can with the glue.
Okay.
But I do use a lot of these foam brushes for the glue. Do you ever use the foam brushes? And I feel like they're like these guys. I use these with the glue.
Yeah.
And I like this bottle with the, it's almost like a ketchup or mustard nose. And what I do is I can just put it on and spread it out, and that works pretty well for me. But you glue, I mean, if I'm fine with you use the adhesive, if that works for you, that's great.
Okay.
So let's talk about the pieces that you sent me. So I'm gonna do a screen share, and I have them here on my desktop. So let's talk about,
Okay.
let's talk about what you sent me, and I'm just gonna try to give you an idea. Let me close this one, of maybe some things that we could work on with them. So
Okay.
one of the things that I do that I think is very important is when I start to work on a photograph, I always do one coating of wax medium. Okay, so do you know what the wax medium is?
Yeah, they are coated with it.
Okay, so that's very helpful for me, because to me that protects the photo and it gives me a surface to add on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like what I see with this one is I love this lace texture, right? But I feel like you were almost too careful with it, and you paid too much attention maybe to like not going on her face or not getting on her shoulder. And I would tell you the opposite. I would say, put that stencil on there and go right over her hair, her eyes, go right over her shoulder. Really make that veil feel, and even over him too, like even a little bit on the other side. And then once you have the stencil on, and it looks like you did a good job with the stencil, like you put the white encaustic paint on there, you did the stencil nicely, but just like go further than you need, and then fuse it a little bit with the heat gun, and then take a pottery tool. I have lots of pottery tools. I don't know, do you have these tools? I use, oh, you know what? I just got a cool idea. I use a lot of these wooden ones, like these guys. These guys. Do you have these, Carrie? Oh yeah. Okay. So these are what I call, like, if we were like a dermatologist, right? We could go right up onto her face, right, and take the stencil off, right? So
I not only have the ones I showed you, I also have all the dental tools too.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Oh my God, you're so organized too. I just have a big pile of tools on my desk. So that would be my suggestion with this one. Also, what else could you add to this? Like, what about her dress? And then also, what about that background? Like, what about like all of this space here? I mean, I think you could add more to this one. Let's look at this one. So this one, like, I feel like same thing. I feel like you're still, I love the white around her face, and I love this color ivory. Sometimes for me, I feel like if I use a color in one area, I want to use a color somewhere else, like the same color, so that it's not just in one spot. So I'm assuming you did this with encaustic wax.
You know, that might be I think that's the only one that, it has one coating of wax, but the rest of it is pan pastels and watercolor pencils.
Oh, nice. So why did you not like paint her dress or like the flowers?
Oh, because I got, because I didn't want to mess them up and I didn't know where to go next.
Right, but of all of these, I think maybe like this one is my favorite one. And
Yeah,
I
and
feel,
I got that from you because you said outline everything, so I
yeah,
started outlining everything on that one.
I love the flowers. So I actually just find that their faces are just a little bit too bright. So what do you think that you could do on this one to just kind of like soften their faces? I just feel like you've done so much beautiful painting here, but their faces are just a little bit too crispy. What do you think you could add here? A little what?
I think you're gonna say those sticks, these things, right?
No, actually, so what about a one little coat of, so the wax medium does what I call it does like a blur effect,
Oh,
right?
right, yeah.
So just like if something is too sharp or too obvious, maybe just put the wax medium over it to soften it, and then you can kind of play around with like removing, right? So you can go back and forth between like adding, removing, adding, removing, adding, removing, maybe a couple times till you really get the softness plus the focus that you want. But
Okay.
I love this one. Now, one thing that you could do too to this one is, you see how you have like this yellowy brown tone, like in her veil, in her dress, in the flowers. Talk to me about what tone that is. Is it like, do you see that it's a gradient? Do you feel like one area is lighter and one area is darker, or is it all the same?
Yeah, it's I think the wax was just getting cloudy. I get real fanatical about trying to keep the wax clear, but I
Yeah.
think there's there's not supposed to be any color in that.
Okay, so it's just wax medium?
Yeah.
Huh, I wonder why it's yellowing so much. I mean, so the thing about this is, if it does get yellow, I would just go, okay, I would just like stop fighting that fight, and I would say, you're gonna act this way, I'm gonna work above you and beyond you. And I would just take a white. What I was trying to point out to you, Carrie, is that I think that this color, all of the yellow, is like maybe just too much of like the same color, right? It kind of has like the same temperature all over, and then the faces are popping. So if you kind of soften their faces, and if you use like a white pan pastel or like a white pigment stick, and you did like a little bit on her shoulder and like a little bit on her sleeve, because even look at me, like I'm not under a flash, but I have a window, I have skylights in my studio, so I'm getting like 3/4 lighting on me, right? And what's happening is that like this shoulder, my shirt is all light blue, but this side of my shoulder is gray blue, right? And this side of my shoulder is white blue. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So,
Uh-huh.
so for example, if you had like a palette like this, right, and you were painting with any of these colors, you could add white to one side of the color, and you could add a darker gray to the other
Yeah.
side of the color. And that will just help, basically, it'll help the wax become three-dimensional, because wax is flat, right? The picture is flat, but we want to use lights and darks to bring back depth and texture and like beauty, right? And the wax is giving us texture, but when it's all one color, nobody can see the texture, right? Nobody can feel the depth. Okay, so this one I really like. I would love for you to work on that one. This one, I feel like it needs more. It just needs more you. It needs more effort. It needs more creativity. One of the things that I sometimes go for is I go for what I call little leads. So do you see this pattern down here, this scrolly pattern? I would use that as like a lead, and I would put that design. I feel like I saw somebody's work recently. Oh, here it is. It's yours. It's this. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. Do you see how you use that swirl, right? I don't know if you noticed where you got the inspiration, but do you see it exists in the picture, this kind of spiral shape?
Uh-huh.
I don't know, did you know that you got that spiral shape from this part of the picture, or did you just happen to just start doing that?
No, I just picked up that stencil. It's a stencil.
I know, but it's like it's connected. It's like
Yeah.
it's connected, and it's like a lot of times I feel like we want to be
Yeah.
connected. Like we want
Right.
to be
Yeah.
we
I
want
get
things
what
to
you're
like
saying.
relate. Like when you meet somebody, you want to say like, "Oh, where are you from? Oh, where'd you go to school? Oh, I went there. Like I remember that. Like, oh, do you remember how we used to take the bus from this side, you know, and do you remember that teacher?" Like we want to trigger in the artwork. We want to evoke feelings and memories. And this symbol, you don't have a lot of detail in this photo outside of the people, but like you have flowers, you have this circle, you have these spirals, you have the stripes in his tie, you know, so any of these, you have like lacy texture in the veil. Any of these are things that I call like descriptive elements. You can
Uh-huh.
use, they're good to use back and reincorporate into the work, because as artists we're looking for things to make the artwork descriptive and evoke emotion and feeling. And so these are good triggers, and they're good places to look, like in people's clothes and in people's backgrounds. What else can we do, right?
Right.
I mean, of all the pieces that you sent me, I feel like these two are the most developed. I feel like this one has a lot of potential, but what what do you think is what do you think I'm going to say about this one? That it's what?
Um, I think that whatever I did on his sleeve is pretty distracting and doesn't really fit, is what I think.
Well, I think I think I'm going to actually say the opposite, and I think I'm going to say that I like it, but I feel like if you're going to go heavy like that, you should go heavy like that someplace else, right? And
Okay.
more heavy. Like you're working on these as variations. And if I was going to go and do a heavy stencil, I think I would maybe even go all the way up to the top right here. And then I would also go somewhere else, either across the bottom here, or maybe even in the background over here. And then you can start to go, okay, this is a heavy texture coming forward. This is a heavy texture going back. And you could push and pull them by changing their top coat color, which is like the top coat color is like after you do the wax, you can put another pigment stick or pan pastel on the wax to give it tone and color shading. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So do you have your wax set up right now?
Yeah.
Okay. So why don't we, do you have these pictures here with
Yeah.
you? Okay. You know what else I want you to do is, can you, when we're done class today, I would like you to email me a copy of that photo. And for our next meeting, I'm going to paint it too. Okay. So I think it would be really cool for us to collaborate on this piece so that you're working on it from home and I'm working on it from my studio.
Okay.
And you can kind of see like what my reaction to it might be, and then I can help you with your reaction to it. Because I think as an artist, the other thing that's really important is you need to be listening to what your impulses are, right? And you said like, oh, I don't know what to do. And it's like, you probably do have an idea, but something in your head is saying, oh, don't do that, or that's not right, or that might not work. But
Right.
you have to like tune that out. You have to just take that like ear off, or like that all those noises that you're, and just do what you do. Because remember, with the Encaustic, we've got a paint scraper, we've got a heat gun. Like we're not afraid of making a mistake, because we can always go back, right?
Yes.
We can always go back, and you're going to make mistakes. You're going to add too much paint. You're going to, you know, you're going to go too far. But for me, the magic, what I call the magic, sometimes happens in really the scraping away.
Yeah. And I didn't. I just got those razor blades, so I haven't really. I didn't really get that until I really watched your last video, and now
Well,
I really
yeah,
get it,
let's
but I haven't tried it yet.
right, and it just takes practice. And two, like, I think it's terrifying to take wax or anything and just totally cover up a photo. I mean, I think that there's something, it's kind of like the first time you dive off a rock into a lake or a creek, or you swing out and you let go. You know, it's that kind of like momentum forward, and you don't know what it's at, but it's going to be okay because we have scraping tools and we have the heat gun, right? So there's nothing permanent about these actions, and they need to become more joyful for you, more playful.
Yeah, right.
You need to feel like you can run with it, you know, and almost like you want to get those impulses out. It is like it's like a forward movement. You don't want to be holding back. Okay. So if you want to grab one of them, any of the ones we just talked about, let's do some work on them.
Okay.
Okay.
Get them.
Okay. Okay. So which one are we going to start with?
I have to move the ones that I had ready for today.
Oh, did you want to work on something else?
I don't know. You said have 2 or 3 ready, so I had 2 or 3 ready.
Okay, well, let's go. We have another half an hour. Let's spend a little bit of time on the old ones, and then we can start a new one too, okay?
Okay.
Okay, that'll be good. And then you have a lot to work on, which is always good. It's always good to have a lot to work on.
Okay,
so which of the ones we just talked about is your favorite?
Oh, it's probably the one with the border.
I agree. I love that one. Okay, let's work on that one.
Okay.
So the one with the border, I feel like you did a really nice job with those flowers. And I feel like you could add another texture. Do you have any cheesecloth? Or this is cheesecloth. Have you ever used cheesecloth before?
Yeah, I have.
So cheesecloth is really good. Or yeah, okay, yeah. Oh my God, love it. Okay, so pull a piece off, and the shape of her veil is, it's like what's that shape called? Not a triangle. It's like it goes straight at the top and then it has 2 triangles in the middle. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I can draw it. Hold on. It's not a hexagon. A trapezoid? Oh my God. I feel like I'm having a moment of okay, it's like this. So I think that the shape of her veil is kind of like this, right? So this is like the top up here, and then the veil goes out on this side. Now, the thing is you're going to go ahead and make a shape like this, and you're going to go right over the groom's face, right? And it's going to be terrifying. It's going to be terrifying, and you're going to feel, but then we're going to take it back, right? We're going to scrape it back. I also feel like you could go, I always like to go a little bit bigger, right? So if I'm adding clothes or embellishing my ladies, I like to go just a little bit bigger than the reality of what they're actually wearing, right?
Okay.
So it could go, like her veil could go Carrie, like her veil could go like a little bit down to her elbow, right? We could just,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. So I've never had too much luck with cheesecloth, so maybe there's a trick I don't know about.
I don't know, but let me do it with you. So let me find my cheesecloth. I'm not gonna have, and I think your cheesecloth, mine is a little bit tighter. I have your kind of cheesecloth. Hold on. I have your kind too. Mine is a little bit. It comes in different like tight, different weaves, I think. So.
Can you see that?
Hold on 1 second. I'm just looking at my lace box. I'm gonna go with this
Okay.
one. Let me see. Yeah. Oh, I love it. I love it. It's a little too big. I wouldn't go all the way down on his chest.
Okay.
I would just cut that. Yeah, cut that side off.
Saying not go over his face either.
Yeah, I wouldn't go above her head. Move it up just a little bit. Move the whole thing. No, it's good. Move the whole thing up a little bit. Up higher. Yeah. Yep. And you could actually cut a circle. You could cut out a part where her face is. You could cut a little art. Yeah, cut. Yeah. I mean, you could, well, you know what? Just go straight, Carrie. Just cut straight up that line. Just right at her face. Just cut straight up there. And we don't
all
have
the way to the top.
Yeah, cut all the way to the top. Yep. Yep. And then, and then move it over. Move the piece on the left. Yep. Yep. And move it up and over a little bit. Okay.
You want me to take her face out again?
You can, or you just don't have to put wax on it. You can leave it
there. Oh, that's
there.
right.
Right. You just don't have to put wax on it.
Okay.
Okay. So then go ahead and grab your wax medium.
Okay.
And I would say like a medium-sized brush. Like a medium-sized brush, not too big, but also not too small, right?
Okay. I gotta get the brushes. Gotta get softened up. It's been not in the wax. One of the things I've learned from watching your videos is about the mud, but I've got it ready, but I haven't figured out. See, I told you I'm kind of fanatical about wanting my wax to be, the clear wax to be clean, so I'm afraid if I take a brush out of the mud and put it in the clear wax, it's gonna get dirty.
So take a paper towel.
Yeah.
Take a paper towel
And
clean the brush. Do you know how to do that? So take a paper towel like this.
Yeah.
And put it down on the table and then brush whatever wax is in the brush currently, just brush it out onto the paper towel.
Okay.
And
somehow
then,
my screen went away. I don't know what I did, but
I see your screen. I see you.
oh, all I see is it says Zoom. Okay, I got it back.
Okay. I can see you and I can see your piece. I can see the paper towel. I can't see your hot plate, but
no, you couldn't see it unless I moved everything. So I actually have I have a mini skillet and 2 hot plates going because mostly I do encaustic and I always have a lot of colors going. So.
Oh, okay. Do you do your colors in little tins or do you do them on the hot plate?
Little tins. That's what I said. I'm going to learn how to mix. I know I have in the past, if I needed something really quick and just a little bit, I'll mix them on the griddle, but I'm not accomplished at that, but
I'm a wild mixer. I like to use the hot plate as if it's like
no, you use it like an artist. You use it like a
I use it like an artist, yeah. But I always respect people who do like pure colors and keep the tins. I think it's cool. I just prefer to paint in like, I paint impulsively. So I like to be in the moment. And so my colors, I just like them to be original and new, like every single time. So it just keeps me on my toes, I guess. Oh, I like how you added that. That's pretty. I like how you added the extra veil around his other side because you do have the border, which is nice. Okay. So, yep. I think you're doing a great job. So just, yep, dab, dab, dab. Perfect. And then once you feel like that cheesecloth is secure, then you could do like a nice longer brush stroke. And the thing about cheesecloth is you really want to cover it. Now go get more wax. You're already getting light on the wax, I can tell. More wax.
Oh.
Yep, more wax, Carrie.
Okay.
Yep, it's okay. Don't be shy about the wax. I think sometimes too people get really shy about how much wax to put on. But guess what? We're in it to win it. So we're not going to be afraid of using up a lot of wax. Like it's.
Oh, I'm not afraid of that. I just think you won't be able to see the pattern in the cheesecloth because it's all gonna
Oh,
go
yes,
together.
we will. Nope. Oh, yes, we will. I'm going to show you something. All right, so keep going. Fill that all up nicely and do a little. Yep. And you can really push. You can push with the brush too. You can turn the brush on its side and you can push it. Yep. You can do a long stroke there. And do the top. Yep. Get in there. Get all that nice shape going on. And then you could do that little embellishment you did at the side.
Okay, so I think that's good. What do you think?
Okay. Yep, that's good. Now, before you take it off, do you have a tool like this? Or do you have, this is my favorite tool, Carrie, is my palette knife. Do you have a palette knife? Where the heck is my?
Yeah, I do. Let me.
Okay. So I use my paint scraper or my palette knife, and I go over the texture.
Like this?
Oh, that one's too big. That one's too
Okay.
big. Okay, so I use a paint scraper like this. Or, okay, you have another palette knife there? Okay, that one's better. Yep. So you want to go over the cheesecloth and the wax and scrape it.
Scrape it? Yeah.
Well, yeah, yep, because but not off. It's like kind of a little bit more on an angle. Yeah, so what you're doing is you're pushing the texture. You're removing some of the excess wax and you're pushing the cheesecloth texture into the wax.
Okay.
So you're kind of like literally like, not to be cliche, but marrying them, right? You're like joining them together in a little bit more forceful way, right? By adding a little physical pressure to the pattern of the cheesecloth into the wax. Nice. And don't feel like you have to poke at it. Try to use the side. Try to use the side. Yeah, there you go. Better, much better. Yep. Okay, and then you have to be careful because if you get that too tight in there, you're not going to be able to pull that up, right?
Right.
So, okay, let's see if it'll pull up. Yep. And that, yep. So gently, and pull from the bottom. Pull from the bottom. Pull from, nope, the bottom. Yeah, okay. Yep, good. Yeah, and just pull up a little and then move it. Yeah, don't be too, yep, you don't want it to rip, right?
Right.
Yep, you're doing a good job. That's perfect. Excellent. Very nice.
There's some cheesecloth that's not coming up.
I would leave it.
Okay, leave it.
I say leave it. I say we love it. I say we love cheesecloth. Leave it in there. It's pretty.
Okay.
It's just, I mean, it's just string. I mean, you can use a little heat, right, to loosen it up. It's kind of like you could zap it with the heat gun real quick and loosen that, or you can just leave it. Also, if you feel like it's too tight to get it out, you could always just use your heat gun a little bit.
See, that piece just, there's no texture there because it just all pulled up all at once.
Okay. Oh, the wax came right up with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have to do that part over again.
Well, maybe we move on. Can you pull that little string out? Yeah, does that one come out? Oh, there you go. Oh, is that the wax coming up?
Yeah.
Okay, so lay that back down and grab your heat gun. You can just really, yeah, I love that. So you can use the heat gun. You can really get that to kind of move in there. So the heat gun will give you a little bit, yep. Nice. And then you can move those strings, right? You could also cut them with the scissors. You have scissors there. You could trim them. Use your palette knife too, and you can manipulate that texture. Yeah, maybe you don't want those sticking out of there. Maybe you want to cut them off. Oh, is it coming up?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
It's working.
Okay. Maybe the heat helped it, because maybe we made it too flat with the tool.
Probably.
That's okay. It's trial and error, But I feel like you
Sure.
might have gotten a little bit more texture from it. Oh,
Yeah.
that's good. Oh, I love it.
So you said vintage photos. They were married 50 years ago. So would you call that a vintage photo?
I think anything older than 25 is vintage. Yeah. I think, isn't it like old cars aren't like once classics? Aren't they like 20 years old or something? I think then they're classic.
Yeah.
Well, you could call it classic. Okay, let's say 20 to 30 years old is classic. And then I think 50 is definitely vintage, Carrie. Yes. 50. So wait, that was like the 70s, right?
Yep.
So right, at any time too, you can decide this is really cool. So anything like cheesecloth or string or tissue paper, you can always opt to leave it in, but I think you're doing a great job and that looks really nice as you're pulling it out. So sometimes what I do too is when I do a texture or a stencil in one area of the photo, I might just add a little bit of that same texture someplace else in the composition. So where else do you think you could add that? What about the bottom of her dress?
Yeah.
And what if it goes outside that frame? So what if it goes over the border and outside?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so let's get that up when you're ready. And then let's use that same cheesecloth and even just a little piece of it. Let's add it to the bottom of her skirt underneath the flowers. Yep. Now that piece right there, you can hit it, you lay it down on a paper towel. You can hit it with the heat gun. If it's too waxy, right? Carrie, you can hit it with the heat gun or drop it on the hot plate for a minute.
Okay.
If you don't want to deal with all the wax that's in it right now.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like you can clean it. Do you know how to clean your stencils?
You mean clean it after I put it on here or do it now?
You could clean it before you put it on there, which might give you more. So hit it with the heat gun or drop it on the hot plate for a minute and then pick it up with a tool. You'll be a lot happier with it because it will have a lot more flexibility after it's been heated up a bit, right? Do you like that better? Does it feel looser?
Yeah.
Okay, and I don't think I would go horizontal. Why would I not go horizontal? Because it's such a vertical, it's just such a vertical image. Yeah, I would prefer it vertically. Yep, I like it much better there. And I still feel like that it could be spread out more, but that's fine. I like it. I like it.
Well, it could be if there was more of it, but the rest of it is over here.
No, let's just work with the piece we have. Okay, so
Okay.
I would just put a little bit of wax on there, not so much, and I like it. I feel like it's just so what happens too is that think about like something being top heavy. You know, like what if somebody has all their weight just at the top of their body, right? What's going to happen? Their little legs can't hold them up, right? So it's the
Right.
same thing with art. Like you don't want all of the texture and all of the action at the top of the picture. You want some of that texture and action to flow around to the bottom to hold down like what's happening at the top. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So this will really like kind of balance all that beautiful veil work you did.
Good.
Yeah, it's great. And then I think what we could do for the groom is if you have that swirly stencil, the swirly stencil, the black, the one you used on the outside of the edging.
Yeah.
We can use that on the groom. And I think we should go like across his legs or something fun, like, or behind his back or under his arm. I mean, I think we could just do whatever the heck we want.
So did you know that this part around I took more chances with this one. I don't know why, but so this has all been done with sandpaper.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I love it. I can tell it looks like you know why? Because it gave them depth. It took that background back by lightening it. Okay, that's good. So whatever texture you got. So let's do one more texture add, and then we're gonna do some pan pastels or pigment sticks. You can choose. And
Okay.
what I want you to do is I want you to get rid of that like white frame with some dark paint, but where's the stencil? Grab the stencil.
I think it's over where I washed it.
Washed it. I don't think my stencils I've ever seen in the water.
Really? I see.
I just use heat. Like I just consistently use heat.
Okay, so
Okay.
where
Okay. So what I do with the stencils is I really move them around. So what does it look like if you put it in the bottom corner on the groom?
do you want me to put it over his hand? Yeah.
Well, let's move it around. Let's look at it. I mean, I really want to look at it. So let's go higher. Let's go on an angle. Let's flip it over. Let's flip it over all the way over. Like flip it over, reverse it. Oh, I like that way better. And back a little bit away from the flowers. Back, pull it off. Yep. Yeah. So the thing about the stencil is like, here, look at me for a second, Carrie. Like it can go like, this is a flowery one, right? I mean, it can go upright. It can go sideways. It can go upside down. I can also flip it, right?
Right.
So the nice thing too is that I could put this like upside, going up at the top and then going down at the bottom, or they could be going towards each other, right? So I would take it a little bit lower than the bouquet. We don't want to compete with the bouquet, right?
Okay.
And I like that, or a little bit more to the left. To
My
your
left?
right. No, I think to your right. Yeah, a little bit more. What do you think about that?
Sure.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
I like it. Now, is it blocking his elbow or his arm? A little bit?
His hand.
Oh, his hand is down there. Yeah, that hand, we don't care about that hand. That hand.
Oh, okay.
Do we? I mean, do you want to see that hand?
No, I don't care.
Is he not holding? I kind of feel like he's holding the bouquet with her, but I guess he's not. So if you want to keep the hand, you have to go take the stencil outside of the hand. So move the stencil over more to the edge, past his hand. Just for a second. Yeah, like, yeah. And then turn it back on an angle. No, yeah, like that. Oh yeah, do you like that?
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Okay, so why do I like that? Why does that look good? What did it create? Compositionally, what did it create? Because we know I like shapes, right? What shape did it create?
More interesting shape.
What shapes? Look at it. Wait, look at my drawing. Hold on. So now, okay, so now I feel like it's like this. So basically, I have this, and I think it's just because I've been doing art for so long. I have this ability to what I call dissect an art piece and break it down into shapes. So now, do you see that? Do you see my drawing?
Yeah.
Do you see that shape in your artwork?
Which shape am I looking at, right?
Well, it's two triangles. So they're like from their heads, like there's a triangle coming up from the bouquet. Yeah,
okay.
It's meeting there. Yep. And then there's a triangle at the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So if you paint if you, from now moving forward, if you think of that, and what shape is this? This is what shape? What is this? Two triangles.
Well, it's two triangles.
Yeah, but what is it? And we know what this is. It's called an hourglass, right? And
I was going to say that, but I thought you were looking for something like a square or a triangle or something.
No, it looks like an hourglass. And why is that so beautiful for this piece?
Because
it's about what? It's for these people. It's about what?
Like
time and memory, right?
Body, right.
Right. So let's go with that. I feel like when things like this happen, they're very magical. And I call them visions, right? So when I start to see shapes and patterns in the photos and in the wax, and as I'm painting, then I just go with them. Once I've seen them, I don't always see them, right? So when I don't see them, I'm often struggling with the work because I don't really see the path. I don't see the shapes, and I don't see like where the lights and darks are or where exactly my direction is. So now I feel like we can kind of focus on kind of creating these two triangles that are coming together, at the bouquet, right? The point, the center is like right above the bouquet, right? And then we can go out like this and up like that. Okay, so the stencil's perfect. I would do it, and I would do it in a dark wax color. So I would do it in a dark gray, a dark blue, a dark brown, a dark purple. You don't have to do it in black because I know a lot of people are afraid to paint with black. And I don't blame them. I think black is very intense. So if you use any of the shadow colors of your preference, because you have a little bit of a yellowy tone to this picture, if you want to stay within the brown, if you like brown, and because it's vintage, if you like dark brown or Turkish umber. Okay.
Okay, so this might not be dark enough. But
what color is that? Let me see. Oh, pretty. Oh, okay. Okay, so that's kind of a bright brown. Do you have anything darker, or can you mix that with a darker color?
Well, sure.
I think it should be darker because his suit is black. Do you have like a charcoal gray, or you can mix that brown with gray?
I have black.
Do you have even a very, what would look really pretty with that color brown is like really dark blue, like a really.
Right. Except I've already mixed it with the brown. So you want me to, so the brown is metallic that I showed you. It's a metallic brown. Now it's a metallic brown with black. You want me to put some blue in there?
You can put dark blue in it or charcoal.
Okay.
You can pour a little bit out on your hot plate and add a little bit of color to it, and add a darker color to it. Now listen, if you don't feel comfortable doing that, you can always use that brown, and then we can paint it with pigment sticks or pan pastels.
No, I do. I like to mix it. That's fun. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, it's probably not dark enough.
Oh, good. I love it. That's nice. And then also, if you wanted to mix a little bit of that brown in there, good job with the dabbing. You've been listening to my dab, dab, dab. Because you can't brush into a stencil. It just goes right over the top of the stencil. It just doesn't work. The wax, and also, so another thing, Carrie, if you add a little wax medium to that, you can just make it a little bit juicier. It'll give it like a little bit more flow.
Okay, but isn't it too late since it's already covering
No,
it pretty much?
no. If you add wax medium to the paint, it'll just make it more translucent.
Oh.
It won't make it. It will just make it not so opaque, which can be nice. I mean, you don't always have to paint in translucent layers or opaque. It's just nice to know the difference. And you have the lightness coming. Now you're gonna go right over that outside edge. Keep going. Don't stop. Keep going.
Oh, I was getting some clear
wax. Yeah.
Wax medium.
You want to mix it right into the wax, into the paint, not onto the paint.
Oh, into the paint.
Yeah, into the paint, not onto the paint.
Okay.
So wait, look at my palette for a second. Wait, look, Carrie. Can you? Okay, so this is my palette. Hang on, I've got to turn this light on. 1 second. Hang on. There's not enough light there. Hang on 1 second. So I actually just put, because I paint off my hot plate. Better. Oh yeah, that's better. Okay, so say, Carrie, okay, so say I have a dark color, like a brown, like you made like a brownie black. So here's my brown, right?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Now, is that better? Okay, here's my brown, right? And I put it on here, and then here's my dark color, right? And I mix those up. But then what I do is I take the wax medium and I just literally add it to the paints.
Right.
So that's just making the paint expand. It's kind of like adding, olive oil or water to it's like adding water to watercolors. It just makes it more movable and it gives it more flexibility.
Yeah, I did it.
Sometimes I feel like the encaustics, they just get like so stiff.
So they're very condensed. So yeah, I always add a lot of
wax medium.
Yeah.
Good. That's good.
So when you said don't stop, you mean go this way?
Yes, right over that, right into that border. Yes, we want to go right into that border. Yes. We want to go across the border.
Okay.
Yep.
So you can tell that I added because now I can see through it.
Oh, good. Well, it's nice to have variation, intense color that's blocked and then color that's not so blocked, right?
Yeah.
It's nice. It's kind of like, it's like different volumes or rhythms, right, to the work.
So, good. Is that good?
Yeah. And then sometimes what I do you have a bigger brush? Do you have a brush that's a different size?
Yeah.
So what I might do is take a larger brush and then just brush up from the bottom. Like from the bottom, just brush some of that dark color. Yeah, just brush, like make just like this, Carrie, just like brush up. Just like brush up.
Okay.
From the bottom with that dark color, just kind of make some lines. Make something happen. Just give it some, yeah, brush. Yep, a little bit looser, go wider. Yep, and then where else should you put that? All the way to, I would go all the way to the edge of his body, all the way to the middle of the frame. Yeah, keep going to the middle, right up to her dress, from the bottom,
Oh, you mean go, okay, so you're talking about going over his hand then, right?
No, not over his hand, just around his hand. Go under his hand, from the bottom, the edge of the panel. Yep, and then also in the other corner, not on her dress, but outside her dress and in a little bit. I want you to get out of, a little bit more on the side, like the side.
Which
Where
side?
the black, the bride side. Yep, right there. Yep. Take some lines and go over that a little bit. Yep, from the edge. So you're putting most of the paint on the outside edge. Yep, okay. Good. Keep going. A little, yep, and a little bit on the corner, just a little bit, down to the corner, yep, just a little bit, yep. Don't be shy about layering those layers, right? Don't feel so cookie cutter. Go back to right under the bouquet. Add some more black.
I like that.
Yeah, see? You like the black going over the light, right? That's what this is all about. Okay, no, not so much. Nope. Back to the bottom, Just the bottom of the panel, just a little bit, yep. And closer to the groom, in the direction, yeah, keep going, yep, keep going that way till you connect to the black. Connect to the dark color. Just so there isn't that one little space. Down a little bit, down, closer to the edge. Yeah, okay, good. A little bit more, close that space. Just one in that little, there's like a little half an inch to the left, my left. Yes, you got it, good, okay, stop. That's it, all right, beautiful. Okay, so fuse that. Take the stencil off, pull the stencil out, Carrie. Yep, you don't have to flatten it, just pull it out. Yep, pull it out, don't be shy. That thing should not rip on you. It shouldn't, it should not rip on you. It's not like cheesecloth, that's plastic, it should hold up.
Yeah.
Did it rip?
No, but it was too, it's all coming like see the patterns, it looks like it's too cold.
Okay, well you can hit it with the heat gun for a second and pull it out. If you feel like if maybe we waited too long. Because we got distracted doing other stuff, you know? That's good. Don't mush it. You don't want to mush it. You just want to zap it.
No.
All right, then see if you can, you can wait and let that cool for a second, then lift it up. Okay, you know when it's ready. So when you're ready, pull it out. There you go. Okay, good job. Very nicely done. Very nicely done. So did you fuse all of the dark parts?
No, I didn't fuse anything. No.
Okay, so go ahead and fuse all the dark parts that you added gently. But gently, not to like totally destroy them, right? But just to kind of get them connected. So don't liquefy them.
No. Do you want to still see the brush strokes?
I do. I don't want you to,
okay.
I don't want you to pull the brush strokes. I like to, no, I would hold on to them. I love brush strokes. So, you know what, and usually I don't use the heat gun to get rid of brush strokes. I tend to like to use the razor blade to get rid of brush strokes.
Okay.
Because that just gives me more options, I feel like. I feel like the heat gun can be too, it just makes it look too much like a puddle or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you feel about it?
I like this part. I like this part.
Yeah, can you hold it up against your chest? Can you hold it up so I can see the whole thing? Oh, I like it. I really feel like it's starting to happen. Okay, so what I want you to do, let's spend a couple more minutes on it. It's already 2 o'clock, but I feel like you could take, so this is kind of how I think about Encaustic, is I think
Okay.
about each of these steps as being like an action. You can put it down, Carrie, it's okay. I think, and then I think like, what's my gut instinct? Like, what is my instinct to do next? Like, what is your instinct telling you to do next? Work on which part? What catches your eye, or what are you thinking about? Which part
Well,
bothers you, or does you feel like you need to change it or soften it? Does something feel too hard or too soft?
well, yeah, I think this color down here, can you see what this,
Yeah. It's too what? Too dark?
I want to do, yeah, too dark or
Too heavy?
too heavy, yeah.
Okay, so if that's how you feel, what techniques can you use to change that?
Well, what I would use, since I've never tried the razor blade, I would just
Oh,
use
I would use,
scraping.
that's exactly what I was going to tell you. I would scrape it.
Yeah.
Just get the razor blade and try gently scraping the surface.
Okay, so I have a brand new pack of 100 razor blades here.
Oh my God, that's my favorite. That's what I have. I have this cool, are they individually wrapped?
Yeah.
Mine are individually wrapped in wax paper. It's so cool.
When I was ordering these, I hadn't seen your video with the razor blades, and I thought, do I really need 100 razor blades?
No, but that's just how they sell them on Amazon. It's weird.
No, I think it's fine. I'll probably, they'll last a long time. Okay, I got the razor.
Yes, you know what? That's right. It will last you a long time, Carrie. That's absolutely right. Good answer. Good answer. You're like, nope, I'm fine with it. Bring them on. I got them and I don't need to shop for them. I can take that off my list. Okay, so go ahead and just gently start scraping. Yep. And you can switch directions too, which I also think is helpful.
Okay.
So you can turn the piece in multiple directions.
You want it to be kind of a little bit warm when you're scraping, because it's pretty cold.
No, I like it cold. If it's too warm, it just comes right off.
Oh, okay.
So you want it chill. And some people actually even like put them in the refrigerator and stuff before they scrape them.
Oh.
You want it because you want tough, otherwise you could just you'll just remove the wax, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't really want to do that, but you want to force some texture to happen.
I like the texture down here.
Yeah. And while you're doing this, you're kind of just watching what's emerging, right? You're just kind of like witnessing, how these layers of wax are coming together. And as you remove the top coat, you're looking at like what's sort of happening underneath, right? And also, I like the little razor blade nicks. Some people don't like them, but I like the nicks. I think they're kind of cool. I like little holes too. Like sometimes I'll just take like a little tool and I'll just poke little holes in the wax. I always call them like just breathing room or texture. I don't know what they mean exactly, but they're just kind of nice to make a pattern. I like to think of the wax as like gently worn, right? Or like vintage, like it's been weathered.
Yeah, kind of like what you're doing with the tar. I really like what you do with the tar.
Yeah, but we can totally use the tar on this. When we get
I haven't got any tar yet. I have to know what to order or what to get.
You know what? I don't even think I've had this conversation with a couple people. I don't think there's a right kind of tar. I think you can just get any type of asphalt, like driveway asphalt.
Okay.
I'll show you the one that I have before you leave me today, but I don't really think that there's a right and a wrong.
Okay.
So if you get, I don't know if you get to Home Depot, but you can also order it probably online. Wait, Carrie, where do you live?
In New Mexico?
Oh, nice. What part of New Mexico?
Las Cruces, which is 45 minutes from El Paso.
Okay. Okay.
Like really close to the border, and
Wow.
yeah.
Hey, do you live? Oh no, he lived in Texas. I was thinking about that young politician. Do you remember him? The guy from Texas. He lived in a border town. I can't think of his name.
Oh, I know, Beto.
Yeah, Beto. Yeah,
Yeah, well, he's El Paso's only 45 minutes from here, so yeah.
Oh, okay. So you do live close to where he lives.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I read a really nice long article about him, and I kind of liked him, but I mean, I don't think that he would get enough votes, but I still kind of thought he was an interesting person.
I like him.
You do like him?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I liked him. I liked what I read about him. I thought he sounded like decent, and he was like, he has a unique perspective on, the United States, I thought.
Yeah. I think we'll see something, we'll see him again. I don't know when, but
yeah, when he gets older, maybe.
yeah.
That's good. I hope so. He seems like he was in it. He seems like he's in it, fully in it, like really truly in it. The politics,
Yeah. So what do you want? What would you like? Because I'll be scraping this for a while, and
yeah, I think we should maybe end here. I think that's an hour. I think we could end here. I think what I want you to do is,
you want me to send you the original picture, right?
I do. I want you to send me the original picture, and I'm going to paint it before we meet again. I also feel like I want you to continue to work on this one. And I think I want you to work on the top. Can you hold it up for me again, Carrie? No, yeah, the other way. Okay. So what I feel like it needs is I feel like you need to get rid of the triangle. And I feel like that at the top, I feel like you need to get rid of the frame. So maybe just some brush strokes, just so do you see how sharp the black is compared to the white?
Yeah.
I just want you to lose that shape. I don't care how you do it. I don't care if you just take a brush with some, brush strokes and you just go over that line, or you take your swirls again and you do more white. You could make an arch over them. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you could take like like almost like a horseshoe shape and put it around them. I just want you to get rid of the very cut out frame at the top.
Okay, sure.
And you could do it with a light colored wax or a dark colored wax. I don't really think it matters, because what we're going to do when I meet with you next time is we're just going to talk about kind of pushing and pulling the picture. We'll be done with the wax, and we can just use the pigment sticks or the pan pastels to kind of balance everything, right? And sort of figure out what is coming forward in terms of highlights and shadows. And at a certain point, Carrie, I just stop waxing and I start, doing painting with a lighter material, something a little bit easier to manipulate than the wax.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
So like you have a couple pigment sticks like these?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, good. And you have a couple pan pastels, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, perfect. So all I want you to do this week for homework is send me that picture. And now if you want to go back to the other ones that you sent me, you can work on them. I feel like you've made leaps and bounds with this piece, and I want you to put it somewhere where you can look at it regularly.
Okay.
And I feel like even you could get rid of those top like cookie cutter, that rectangle. You could use like an off-white or a white. You could use that same swirly stencil. But again, like you don't have to use the stencil just like straight up. You could use, and I think you're good at that. I think you can now I've showed you, you can visualize it on its side, flipped over, which way are the curves going, you know, maybe there's just two curves like kind of curve in at the top like this, creating like an arch, you know? I mean, you can play with it.
Okay.
Make it pretty for them. And then when we meet next time, we will work on toning with pigment sticks and hand coloring.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, I'm gonna stop. Wait, let me stop the recording.